Hey everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is a beautiful day. It's a little cold here, as you can tell. We're all kind of bundled up. We didn't really want to start the stove and heat everything up, so we're just freezing.
Not freezing.
Not freezing. I guess
it's 60. It's 63.
It's 63 in here. Yeah,
I was a little chilly.
Yes, it's not that cold. Yeah. Anyway, life is good. Hey, let's get some hellos in. First in the house tonight was the instigator himself. Was going to make popcorn, and he proposed a very interesting question later on down in the chat, which was, the tins that have 4 different flavors of popcorn in, what are the 4 flavors from a Homestead? So I thought that was pretty interesting.
4 flavors of popcorn from a Homestead?
Yeah, because it probably wouldn't be
caramel,
processed cheese, and blah, blah, blah. I thought bacon, salt, plain, and elderberry.
Elderberry popcorn?
Which is the only thing you can't kill around here, right? I mean, it's like it's prolific.
Yes.
Anyway, greatest name on the internet's in the house.
Half Bubble Off Flow.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Beth Emily, good to see you. Happy in. Beth Emily said, Elon Musk bought CNN. Just heard this rumor. Is there anything to add? So I did hear that as well. I tried to research a little bit. There's nothing that supports that. But in digging into that, I also found that he had made an offer on Ford Motor Company, which is also probably not true. But anyway, hey, my good buddy Spags Unfiltered's in the house. The man, the myth, the legend. Spags, how are you, my friend? Kelly May, good to see you. The Terminator, good to see you. Psalms 125. Good evening right back to you. Let's see here. I think I already said hello to Kelly May, but I'll say Kelly May hello once again. We'll do that twice. The beautiful Louise Wesley's in the house. Hello, hello. Kelly says, I just found a new way for me to fry pork chops. I soaked them in sweet tea overnight, just enough to cover them. They were really tender and had just a hint of sweet tea flavor. They were really good. What else we got here? Oh my goodness. Farm Ranch Homestead. Good to see you. Carrie Davis. Trouble herself is in the house. Let's see here. Starla Doak. I hope you're feeling well tonight. Karen, how are you? Says, got to the mid-50s in Minnesota. Yeah, it's not too bad. We got to get buckled up for it, huh? Skanes Girls in the house. Good to see you. Harry Kent Hepworth, my brother from Kentucky, says, thanks, Father Almighty, for giving us hope to address the future and correct our shortcomings. I just pray we can succeed with this reprieve. And we're going to talk a lot about this tonight, Harry. It is on the forefront. What else we got down here? Mandy Garrett. Hey, we got royalty. Good to see you, Mandy. Lisa's in the house too, as is Silver Lining. Hey, I don't know if I'm supposed to share this or not, and I probably might get in trouble, but Silver Lining's got some tribulations in her life and could use the prayers. I'm not going to speak on it any more than that unless she wants to. But I would definitely welcome the prayer warriors out there to send some blessings to Silver Lining tonight. One step closer. How are you? Let's see here. Gregory Kissel, welcome in. Pack Rat, good to see you. My buddy Mo's in the house. You guys are chatty tonight. I love that. Redneck, how are you, my friend? Not far away. Tina, good to see you. Indiana Mike, ahoy, and the Mossy Oak Barrett. Let's see here. Dana Randell, good to see you. Jamie, I actually seen Jamie on some other podcast I was watching today or something. I don't remember which one, Jamie. One of them you were on and I was on at the same time. Dana Green, good to see you. Aljo, hello. Beautiful MJ from Wisconsin, good to see you. Grateful Hearts Ranch. RN and Nitos are all here. Jules, good to see you as well. Jamie says it was Fox News he was buying. I have not seen that yet. The Cougar herself, Christine's in the house. Ryan and Courtney checking in. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Courtney. I will see you guys soon. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Let's see here. Elon suggested that retired people should not have to pay tax. I totally agree with that. Well, I pretty much agree with anything that prevents us from paying tax. Stan Guthrie, good to see you. Gypsy, how are you, my friend? I seen you from a distance today. I didn't actually see you, but I seen him from a distance. Simpler Times Homestead, welcome in. My goodness, I'm way behind here. That's okay. We'll get caught up. Oh yeah, Jamie says JJ. So yeah, reality survival. I was listening to him while I was preparing for the live tonight. And that's where I seen Jamie. I knew it was somewhere. I knew I seen you. Yeah, look at all those prayers for silver lining. I love that. Banquet of Consequences. Good to see you. Bonnie, welcome in. Barbara, welcome in. I love it when you look at all those beautiful prayers for silver lining. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Silver lining, just know, bud, you're loved. You're missed and you're loved. And you know, my phone is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right. Well, what do you have on your beautiful list tonight?
Well, we are getting used to daylight savings time.
No, we're not.
It's lighter earlier in the morning and darker earlier in the evening. I'd rather have that hour in the evening, I think, versus in the morning, but makes chores earlier. So, and those animals, they know too. They're like, hey, sun's going down. Help. Somebody come check on me. Then of course the turkeys. I need to do something with the turkeys. I've got an excess amount of toms.
Anybody want some turkeys
right now? Well, you're gonna want them to eat.
I know.
You know.
Hey, prep for the eternity homestead. Welcome in, by the way. Go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
So I need to start tagging them to see which ones are which, so that I can be effective on the day.
And most of the ones we want to get rid of are slate. So everybody wants to know.
Well, they're a mix. They have polka dots. They have Narragansett polka dots.
They're Narragansett slates.
Yes. I do have one slate tom, full-blooded slate tom that I would like to. Well, he's going to go to camp if he's not if he doesn't find a new home. But I would be willing to trade him to somebody who needs a slate. Yeah. So yeah, I need to figure out a butcher day for birds. But I have a cow coming, or I have beef coming mid next week. So I'm in the process of cleaning out the freezers.
You got a big next week coming.
I do have a big next week coming. We have been eating ground beef and corn for several meals because I have
She's trying to clear the freezers out.
I have it. And I need the room. Yes. Yeah. So going through the freezers, trying to get ready for 535. 535 was his hanging weight, so I'm sure it's going to be less than that.
Gotta be 300 pounds.
Yeah. And then I have some requests from our children who would like to have some in their freezers. So I've got some that I'm going to help them with. So that'll help. Storage space. Tetris. Yeah. What else? Okay, so got the Jeep fixed. I had a low tire every time the ambient temperature got below a certain degree. I would have a low tire, so I finally went in and got that fixed. I had a nail in it, and then figured out what the burning smell. For the longest time, I'm like, gosh, it smells like it's burning. Something's burning. And then we got the rotor replaced, thinking that was
maybe it was brakes.
It was brakes, but it wasn't. But we found out it was
she had a small oil leak in the valley.
Oil filter.
Yeah, housing was leaking in the valley, which you couldn't see. And anyway, we replaced it, so that was good.
Yeah. So it no longer smells like burning plastic when I pull up to stoplights. But it's paid for. And it's fixed. So
yeah, real quick, Leela, welcome in. Unique Prepping, how are you, my friend? And Midwest Motivational, how are you? Good to see you. I'll see you this weekend. And Tina wants to know if we were close to their tornadoes. We were not. They were a long ways from us. Hey, Pat Wiley, how are you, my friend? Long time no see. Sharon McKee, good to see you as well.
Yeah, we have a little bit of rain coming tonight, though.
We have rain coming, which is good. We need it. even though everything's wet.
Everything's pretty wet. I actually got some mowing done in 2 of the fields today just to knock it down. Those fires that happened, was it last week, the week before, whatever, there was like 5 in a 24-hour period in one county and 4 in this county within a 24-hour period.
You get to really work on that. You get so worked up over that.
Well, somebody just throwing a cigarette butt out on a windy day when it's dry can take away your whole house. And that just makes me feel like if there's something that I can do
60,
then I would like to. So I mowed next to the roads, so in hopes to keep that at bay. And too, like the neighbor sometimes catches his stuff on fire to burn off fields. And if your stuff is tall, then it is it's easier to get away from you, harder to maintain. So
RN says, yeah, but it's paid for.
Yeah, but it's paid for.
That is true. Hey, we'll be cool. Welcome in. Tim Riley, how are you? What did Tim say? Tim said to learn the hard way this week that the government mandated soy-based coated wires for vehicles, $12,000 in damages. Midwest Motivation said they forgot to switch back to the regular cow. It's Matt. I know exactly who it is. And I like Midwest just as well. ACM, good to see you as well. LJC, welcome in. Good evening. Good evening. And Mandy Garrett says, we have a root cellar hole, Doug, but instead we got a swimming pool. Yeah. We live that.
Yes.
Been there, done that for
Water
sure.
Water has been
it's a beast.
Something else. Yeah.
It's a beast, but it's good. What else you got?
Well, we did election day, came and gone.
Are you glad, by the way, it's over?
I am glad it's over. It's exhausting. I can't imagine it's exhausting for us.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being the ones in the limelight going after their dreams and trying to, I'm sure that.
I bet they're tired.
Yeah, tired. Well, the FEMA offered Harris some 50, right?
No.
Yeah, she was wiped out. Done.
You gotta stay off YouTube.
I did get that. Yeah. Well, it was Facebook I got that from, but yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, I'm glad it's over. And we can get back to no more signs blowing in the yard.
Zach says he's ready for talking at conventions. All I need is Wi-Fi and speakers. I'm going to use my laptop with the communication software I'm using for YouTube. Unique Prepping. I don't know if you know Spags here, who's in here tonight, but you got to reach out to Spags. That's our festival here local. And that'd be a great place to start. Going through a fire and losing everything is no fun. I've dealt with it twice in my life. Ouch.
Oh my gosh.
Ouch. Yeah, Skane's girl says pool party at Mandy's. Yep. Yeah. Okay. The best thing is no more political ads. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're going to talk about that one later.
Did you see my short with the oatmeal?
But...
I made a thing of oatmeal, or 2, I guess it was 2 packs of oatmeal. Just grabbed 2 out of the box and so I boiled water in the morning for Tag's coffee. And it's so easy when you have boiling water, coffee's brewing in the little, what is that called? French press, right? So put the coffee in, put the hot water in, let it steep for a minute, push the thing down, push the plunger down, pour it into the cup. Boom, coffee's done for Tag. I already have hot water, so I grabbed 2 packs of oatmeal and put it in the bowl, stirred it up, set it aside for a few minutes, came back to it, stirred it, and I was like, oh, look, there was a blueberry in there. Stirred it a little more, and I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't blueberry, pack it. And I grabbed the 2 packs, the empty packs out of the trash. They're sitting right on top, and I'm like, okay, that one's peach and that's strawberry. I go back over and I stir it, and I'm like, wait a minute, where'd it go? And I'm trying to find it, and I find it, and I pull it back out, and I look at it, and I'm like, that is not a blueberry. It is a piece of plastic. Like people say, I've heard so many times, people are like, oh, they're putting plastic in your food. Oh, the microplastics. Oh, the forever chemicals. Nanoparticles.
Yep.
Nanoplastic. This was not no nano, let me tell you. I mean, this was big enough for me to see it, and I didn't necessarily have to have glasses on to see it. So, I actually called the company and was like, hey, you guys need to know that this is what I found in here. And she said, I am so sorry. I will send you some coupons. And I'm like, no, I don't want your coupons. I am never going to order. I'm never going to buy instant oatmeal in packages again. This is you already done lost your shot. So what was a convenient, supposed to be heart healthy, not too bad of a meal, is not. So, and I kind of thought back to, remember in the olden days when they're like, oh, they put sawdust in the food to make it go longer, go farther.
Spag says that was a lab grown blueberry.
No, it wasn't. It was not food whatsoever. There was no breaking it down. It sat in that bowl of oatmeal for as long as it took me to go brush hair, do some bathroom stuff, come back and attempt to eat it when it wasn't so hot. And it was not broken down. So, and it was so shiny. It was like, it looked to me like it was deliberate because it was cut on two sides and kind of like serrated on the other two sides, but it was flat on both the top and the bottom. It was plastic. So I called the company.
Mo said it was a microchip to bug you.
I would not be surprised.
Mo, it bugged her. It clearly bugged her. Ask the company.
Yes. So I threw the whole package away. I can't even feed that to the animals. I don't know.
I would feed it to the animals.
No, because I'm going to eat those animals. And I don't want that in there at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she called the company. The company said, we'll send you some coupons. She told them to piss off. I'm never buying your product again. And that was the end of that. So why would you even call them if that was the case?
Because I want them to know. Like if there's a recall that needs to go on, or if there's
they don't care.
Something that needs to, well, then why do companies go through recalls?
Because they get busted.
So then who busts them?
Well, they could foresee a problem and then do the recall, right? Trying to avoid the bust. Yeah, Psalms 125 says, I gave up on flavored oatmeal packets a long time ago because of the cost. Now I make my own homemade oatmeal done many different ways and only takes 5 minutes. Yeah, we do that a lot too, but sometimes it's just super quick and you're trying to race out the door. But anyway, enough about oatmeal.
I prefer wheat berries anyway.
You guys want to play some trivia? We'll go kind of some trivia. So I'm going to show you guys a picture and you got to tell me what it is, right?
I was like, you can't even tell what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, but now they know you know. Yeah, Louise says, yeah, but now they know you know. So I get this random picture from my wife. I'm working down at the commuting building and I just get a picture. No explanation, just a picture. So what do you think this is?
I know.
This is what I get. Any guesses?
Lisa knows.
Does Lisa know?
Yeah.
Okay. So Silver Lining apparently knows and B knows.
Okay, so that's me. What do I win?
No, you don't qualify for this contest.
It actually looks like I bit my tongue. It's
not
bleeding.
The very, very tip it does, but not the
orange.
Yeah, maybe you killed
Cheeto.
Yeah, maybe you killed Big Bird.
Cheeto tongue. They're Doritos.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look here. Bonnie says organic oatmeal is tasty if cooked in a crock pot. I love oatmeal. Barbara says bitter tongue. Looks like Homestead flirting to me. Persimmon, orange peel, and for the win, the greatest name on the internet.
Yeah,
Plum got the win.
Yeah.
So tell them what you got there, Pumpkin.
I found a saffron flower that had bloomed, and it had 3 little stigmas, and I was curious, so I ate one. And
so when you're curious about things, you stick it in your mouth?
Basically. That stains. Like you could basically use that as a dye. Although they're very tiny. So I have another flower that's out there that is just getting ready to bloom, and I put a crate over top of it. One of those harvesting crates with all the holes in it to try to keep the chickens out, because the chickens keep going into that stuff that I planted, and they eat the tops right off. So the onions that were over there, the Monarda and the saffron, they are just eating the tops right off of them. So I got three little stigmas.
Yeah, what about without rule of law trivia? A world without the rule of law game I've been playing with my friends. Oh, you mean like this one?
One of those we if there's two over there, we owe one to
Jess.
Yeah, you already knew that.
Yep. See, Psalm says this orange is Trump's hair. Laugh out loud, a yellow egg yolk. Too funny. Nope, it's saffron. And yep, it was quite funny to get that just kind of out of the blue. Like, you'd think there'd be an explanation in it, but apparently not.
I sent a message right after that, so you must not have seen the message.
Yep. Okay, so we are curious. What is a saffron?
The inside so when the flower opens, there's the three little, they're called stigmas, but they're little stick looking things. They're bright red, and you can pull them off. That is what the saffron is. And it's actually like a really expensive herb that I've never cooked with. So I didn't know what it tasted like. I didn't know what to use it in. So when it grew and I saw it,
it's from a crocus flower.
I wanted to taste it. Yep. Stamens. Stigma. I said stigma, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Nito's got you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Real quick, did you like it? Dana wants to know.
It wasn't what I had thought. Like, I thought that I was going to be like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But yeah, I mean, I could see me using it. I probably will not consume it like that again. But I did pull the other two off and stuck them on a paper towel to dry in the kitchen.
Yeah, Midwest Preparedness says saffron is great in curry-based dishes.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of stuff for rice.
I do like curry.
Yep. Hey guys, tonight on the live, I've got all kinds of announcements to make that we'll make throughout the course of the live. But the first one is for any of you that'll be in our neck of the woods on November the 24th. We have our Freeman Festivus, and everybody's welcome. Well, until we hit 80 people, and then nobody's welcome. Just for the record.
Right. We have a head count of 80
because that's the capacity of the place that we're going. So we're having our third annual Freeman Festivus for the rest of us. So everybody knows it's kind of just our community holiday. It's a holiday really based around anti-consumerism, and really we all just bring food, bring a plate, and maybe a dessert, and we're going to sit and enjoy ourselves all day long. Did you say
bring a plate? We'll have plates.
No, I meant a dish.
It's a potluck.
It's a potluck that everyone will bring food. We have several people who have volunteered to cook different types of heritage turkeys. So, like, for example, maybe we'll have a Royal Palm, a Narragansett, and a bourbon red, for example. I don't know exactly which one it all is, but so we're going to be able to do a little bit of Homestead turkey taste testing, which will be pretty neat.
We have somebody cooking a ham.
Yep, someone cooking a ham that was raised on a farm.
Yep.
I don't know what else.
That's all I know of.
I don't know what else is going on.
But if you guys tell me what you're bringing, then we can make a list, and that way, if there's something that's lacking, like if we have too many, we don't have any desserts, and somebody goes, "Hey, what are we lacking?" Then we can be like, "This is what's going on," and then they can go, "Oh, we need salad too." Yeah.
So any of the moderators out there, I can put it in myself. My email address is tagandb@lifedonefree.com. So if you want to go
You have to RSVP.
You need to RSVP and let us know you're coming, how many you're bringing. We've got a bunch on the list already. And again, it's limited to 80, but it's free. We're just going to hang out and enjoy ourselves. Again, it's just our holiday. So it's coming up here in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Right?
And we're going to open the doors at noon. So you can come and set up if you want to come early, but we are going to eat at 2. So eating dinner or lunch, I guess, dinner, supper, whatever is it 2, and we have to be out of there. We put 7:00 just to give us a little bit of time to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, I'm just going to put my email address up there for a little bit, just in case anybody wants to come. Everybody's welcome. It is not based on anything except community, just a community holiday.
Yeah.
So the Hippocrates says too many cinnamon rolls, no such thing. Spag says, I was an Army MO on the local SRT a few years ago. We opted for saffron over diazepam because of the lack of heart issues. Psalm says, I wish it was closer. Florida's pretty far away. Oh, well, I'll be thinking of y'all. Yeah, Florida's a little far away. But I'm going to tell you something. Psalms 125, you'd be more than welcome. Every year we give it, oh, look at that. I missed somebody. Lazy Loper, happy Friday. I'm glad you made it. I didn't see you sneak in. I apologize. But I didn't miss you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, what else we got going on? You want to talk about what this picture is, babe?
Well, they were having a commissioner meeting, and we were going to go in, but these guys were trying to go in, and the police officer there was stopping them. Was not allowing these citizens to go into the commissioner's meeting because their names they were not allowed. Yeah,
let me tell you, you're missing a whole big part of this.
Well, that's what I caught.
So the guy in the purple shirt is the dreaded rebel rouser from YouTube. The guy in the checkered shirt is Lawrence Accountability from YouTube. And so in our county, we've put enough heat on them. Now we have other YouTube channels coming in to film them and to film what's going on. And they got their names on the agenda because the person who fills out the agenda is an elected official, not the commissioners.
Okay.
So they just fill out the agenda, and the commissioner said, hey, we don't like this. So we're going to make a resolution that says if you're not a resident and own property and pay taxes in Jackson County, you can't be on the agenda. And so they quickly changed the rules. And then these guys showed up, and now they're interviewing the police officer, and they're making this. The commissioners are so stupid. They are going to lose this 100 times out of 100. The guy in the purple shirt has a PhD, and he got a couple, the assistant district attorney in another Kansas county fired for doing things unconstitutional. And so anyway, they're getting a lot of heat. So Bethany snapped this picture. I got to have a little bit of conversation with him, talk to the cop a little bit. I was nice to him, right?
Yeah. So they were not even allowed in there, though. They were not letting them in.
Because they weren't on the agenda. Yep. Because they kicked them off the agenda because they changed the rules.
So people who are on the agenda can go in, but nobody else can?
No, the public could go in. They could go in. They weren't letting them go in there. They could go in there and sit there and be quiet. They weren't allowed to speak.
Okay. I took it from their conversation that they were not allowed in there. Yeah. And last time they were in there, they were escorted off of the premises.
Yeah. Yeah. They're about to be in a big old lawsuit. It's going to be funny. Hey, the famous Life with Mike and Jenner in the house says, good evening. My ducks aren't in a row. I am sure one is a pigeon. Let me see here. Lazy Loper said, wish that her and Pete the Squatchy could join the festivities maybe next year. We would love to have
that. Would be awesome.
Yep. And you're welcome 100% of the time. And you don't have to wait, Lazy Loper, for there to be a Festivus, a festival, a preparedness project, or anything else.
Just come on down.
Come on down. That's right. Yeah. All right. So, B, why don't you tell everybody what happened to the little solar system?
I don't want to talk about it. We had 4 days of no sun. And so I was trying to do my best and charge my battery.
Yeah, this is a small portable. This is a very small one.
This is the one that he got me. I can carry around. Has a little handle on top. And I can charge my headlamp that I use every single day.
Yep.
I charge my cell phone. But every single time I plug that in, I plug that outlet into the inlet. I plug the cord into the inlet. And nothing happens. Nothing.
Nothing. It doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do any. Well, the first time I plugged it in, like a little light bulb like popped up, and then it would disappear. Like it would boop pop. And then he's like, "Isn't that a 24-volt panel?" And I said, "Well, it doesn't say anything on the panel, but the box that I yanked it out of, it did. Yeah, I think it did. It said 24-volt. Why? What's the big deal?" And he said, "Well, isn't that Summit 12-volt?" And I was like, "How am I supposed to know? Why does it matter?" And he said, "Well, you can't plug a 24-volt solar panel into a 12-volt battery." Well, that is stupid. Why do we have these things? What is that solar panel supposed to be used for? And he says,
the bug out.
The bigger one.
Yeah.
Well, then that's dumb.
Yeah. So my larger bug out, the big system is a 24-volt system, and I have a portable panel for it to charge it. And then we have portable 12-volt panels to charge the small one. And she plugged the 24-volt into the 12-volt Summit and blew the Summit.
Well, see, I thought
she
didn't really
destroyed
matter. I did. Well, like, why wouldn't it just charge faster?
Yeah.
So if you don't understand what you're doing, you could probably cause a fire.
Yeah, or blow up a machine, portable generator that then I have to go find a way to replace. Right.
Well, I did get to use it once.
Yeah. Psalms 125 says, just wait till everyone starts attending the meetings. I think and hope everyone starts participating in their county commission and school board meetings nationwide. Psalms 125. This is going to be a main point of our conversations here tonight when we get into the good news. But you are right on.
Yeah.
Hippocrates says on-off button. No, I wish that was the case. Todd Not Todd, welcome in, says I'm here. And what's about 12-volt battery?
I broke it.
My wife plugged a 24-volt panel into a 12-volt solar generator and blew the 12-volt solar generator. That's what happened.
Maybe there's like a fuse you can wrap in tinfoil and like reset it.
Gregory Kissel says no overload or voltage breaker. You know what's crazy about it is I kind of thought the same thing, but she plugged it in, seen a spark, and I can't get it to charge anymore. Now it will like if you plug a cell phone into it, it'll charge just fine until it's out of batteries, then it won't anymore. We can't get it to charge either through the 110 or through the solar panel anymore. I'm going to take it apart and see if maybe there's a fuse in there or something that maybe I can look at, but she broke it, whatever it is she did. But the only thing I can figure is she plugged the 24-volt panel into it. Hey, One More Rock, how are you? Your Lazy Loper said we just had our power turned off for about 40 hours this week. Our electric provider wanted to be sure we were safe from wildfires due to the winds. Todd Not Todd says, wow, B, that's talent.
Todd, can you fix it?
I actually bet you Todd probably could fix it. Yeah.
So there should be some kind of like.
There's usually breakers in them, babe, that'll take care of that. But there's nothing on the outside that'll allow me to reset a breaker, which that's what I'm hoping is when I open up the back panel, I'll be able to reset a breaker. And then I won't have to just replace it. But
yeah.
Let's get on to some good news.
I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, I'm less happy. What's this? You sent me a pic, found a horn.
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from, but things show up in the yard, things like that.
That's what happens when you have a livestock guardian.
There was a spine and this. So I don't. This is from a cow. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Psalm says, "Don't feel bad, B. I probably would have done the same thing." Well, and some of it's probably my fault too, and that idea wasn't clear. You know, I should have color coded it. The red panel goes to the red, so because we have a few of them. You know.
I really didn't know that there would be a difference because that's not my.
Hippocrates says the input voltage for that device per the manual is 13 volts to 22 volts, which is how you blew it. Ridiculous. Should be up to at least 100 volts nowadays.
Yeah,
that's right. Thanks, Hippocrates. We're going to blame somebody else, not her. Neighbor's dead cow, says Gregory. Probably. I have no idea. It's amazing, you know, the dogs at night disappear. And where they go, nobody knows. Yeah, Packrat says one of your LGD dogs bringing parts home to build their own cow.
Yes.
All right. Talk about community building.
Sure.
So here's just some updated picture, guys. We're working hard trying to get through it. I pretty much got it all mudded. Got a lot of the stuff, the ceilings in, the lights in, finally have lights, which is good. I don't remember if I had them at the last live or not. Cabinets are in primer, some of them are at least, and somewhat into paint, but we're plugging away and it's not very clean. But that's
No.
it's because we
And the
work.
tables are still out from having a little get
Yeah,
together.
a little get together we just had. But we're getting it, and hopefully pretty quick we'll be able to
have some more meetings.
Yeah, be able to be in there. As you can see, we're working our way around it. It's slow.
Adding a few cabinets here and there.
Yep, just keep on and trucking on,
Cabinets are so expensive,
Yeah.
even from the box store.
Yes, it just takes a lot. All right, though. We'll get it, right? The only reason I brought this picture in is just to show you guys that I'm running gas lines and stuff like that. Like this will pop out. This is where the stove will be eventually.
Why do you have that inset?
Because, okay, so what B is asking is, why is that square cut out of that drywall? Why is that inset? And I'll actually finish that. It's because at the back of the stove, the regulator sticks out from the back of the stove. And so if I don't create an inset, then the stove has to sit out away from the wall. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating an inset so that you can push the stove tighter back.
So that's where the
up against the wall.
regulator goes in that.
The regulator will go into that opening. Yeah. And then I'll just frame that opening in, fill it with drywall, finish it, and you won't know any different. In fact, you'll never see it because it'll be back behind the stove. But I absolutely love the bar. It is a work of art. The blues and oranges in the wood are awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually finishing that piece and spending some time on that. Which, other than standing it and walking by and picking bark off from time to time, I really haven't done much with it,
Yeah, Lou let you borrow her drag down knife.
Draw knife.
Drag down.
Thank you, Psalms. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, so we're making ground though, so that's good. I had a couple low spots in my concrete next to the exterior wall, and they're very minor. The difference was like maybe 1/8 of an inch, and so I poured some self-leveling concrete in there just to get rid of that dip. So when I floor it, I've got a good flat floor in there, which this is very easy to do. It's self-leveling. You pour it in, and it kind of does all the work for you.
And then you're just going to put tile right on top of that, or something?
Hardwood or whatever we floor it with. Yeah, I'll put right on top of that. You'll put a level of foam on it, or some kind of pad, and then you'll floor it. But I didn't want the floor to have that dip in it, because what happens is then you put that pad on there, and then you step on it, and it goes pop, 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 right every time you step on it. And so I wanted to make sure that I filled it, which it was super, super easy to do. Thank you, LJC. Right, margarita machine en route, right? Mario is now a professional rough hone live edge finisher guy. Cracker Jack certification. Love that. Well, I've got a lot of rough hewn, I can't even say it, live edge work to be done. So, quit being selfish with Mario and send him my way. If he wasn't out lollygagging in a canoe, finding
I showed him pictures.
Chairs and stuff out there, there'd be more time to do things.
He's helping the community. He's cleaning up the waterways.
Yeah, I think Jen's being stingy with Mario. That's what I think.
Nah, he was out looking around.
All right, babe, why don't you talk about this? Because this is a big week next week, right?
Yes, so this is the barn pad. We have the barn is supposed to come, they're supposed to, you are loud with that.
I drank it all.
70 by 30 barn gonna come be put up this next week. They're supposed to be here.
Yep.
We hope to I don't know. We hope to then get they said that it's going to take 2 days to put the barn up. Does that mean they have the doors?
Yes.
And then
2 to 3 days.
Tag is going to go in and put in a few stalls so that I can get the cows separated when I do chores. Because when Cowboy was here, when the Angus was here, he was like head honcho. He would eat his food like a starving child and then go to the next bowl and take whoever's food is the weaker link. So with him gone, Freeman has now stepped into that role, and I have Lady is well, actually they're the same age. Freeman and Lady are the same age.
Mm-hmm.
They were born in the same summer, and they were born on the same farm, so they knew each other before, and now they're here together. But I've got videos. As soon as he's done with his food, like he eats faster now, and then he goes over to her, and then they do the headbutting, knocking. And yesterday he actually pushed her to where she was down on her knees, and he was still pushing on her. So, and I know that's what they do, but if I could separate them, at least when it's time to, I give them a little bit of grain in the nighttime just to bring them in, check them out, and make sure everything's okay. And then also, if it's going to be like a brutal cold, like if it's -40, I will bring them in, and I want them to be able to be familiar with, like, this is where they're going to go. So
this is their stall.
This is my home.
Yeah. So my wife is having me build 7 indoor stalls in the new barn. I have all the material. I bought it all at the auction. It's been sitting here waiting on this project. And but next week your barn will be up.
It'll be up,
and then
we'll be on to the stalls.
The stalls, and I'll turn my attention to that for a while. The good news is the community building I have totally weather tight. It's ready for the winter.
Yeah.
So it's now I'm just staying busy. But as soon as the barn gets here, I'll get her stalls built so that her animals can get out of the weather if that's what. Even though they're cows and they're designed to be outside.
Yes,
but
they are. They are. But
whole nother thing.
When we had Lady here, and then she left for the summer to go be bred. And before she left, she knew that she was fed out of this particular door. And so even though I have changed my routine, she still goes over to that door and waits for me to bring her food. And I come out a total different door, but she's still like, oh, okay, I'll follow you over there now. But she still waits right by that door where she was initially familiar with where her food came out of. So they learn, they know what they're doing. They know what we teach them. And I just like that. They're just like big dogs.
Yep. Jen says, I used the found kayak to pull another rocker out of the flood area. Yeah. So they found a kayak and they've got flooded. And so Mario, being the adventurous he is, goes out in his kayak and comes home with rocking chairs and all kinds of stuff. And it was great.
Sink.
It was great.
Yeah, their river is, I think she said, had rose a couple hundred feet.
A couple 100 feet?
I think she said a couple hundred.
Well, that seems like a lot. But Mario just finished installing a garbage disposal and putting together a bed frame. Yeah, hey, Eagle Lover, how are you? Welcome in. Spag says, how soon will you need painting done, Tag? Well, whenever you're ready, bud, to donate your painting time, I'm available in here.
The barn doesn't need to be painted, but
the community building.
Other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the community building.
Tag went and got like a totally different chocolate too. He's like, I took this chocolate and paint matched it to this chocolate. And I'm like, those do not match. Those are two different colors.
No, she don't know what she's talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about.
No, what I did was I went to the paint store and I asked them to match the chocolate brown of the metal roof.
Okay.
Match that color.
And they don't match. Okay. I must have said something different.
On the stalls, will you make one bigger in case it is close to birthing in increment weather? Actually, make 2 bigger ones. So there's going to be 2 mama stalls, and then there will be 5 regular stalls.
Right. And one of them I'm hoping to use as a milking station.
Yeah. But the goal this winter is to just get 3 stalls in.
Yeah.
Because we got 3 cows that she wants to make sure they have their own place to go. So I'll race to get 3 stalls in before the weather sets in. And then that'll be enough for me for this year. Mm-hmm. Amy B, welcome in. All right. We're excited. It's coming. And you know what the best part about this building is? This will be the first building on my property I did not build.
Right.
So they're going to build it. They priced it, they were going to do the installation, and we negotiated, and I don't have to do any of it. And that's just so exciting because I look around at every building here. I had to put every screw in. So from where the usual bank is to where the flood brought the flooded edge was a couple hundred feet. It was over 15 feet deep. Okay, so it widened a couple 100 feet, not in depth.
Okay.
That makes sense to me. Perfect sense. Love runs rampant. Hello.
That's still a lot.
It's still a lot, yeah. But we're excited. This will be next week. So by the time we do our next Friday live, we'll have pictures of the barn, right?
Should.
Yep. And my good buddy, the King, Jeff, Gypsy, Hefty, Lefty, Amazon, Mud Dauber, right?
Mud Dauber.
Mud Dauber. We'll also have a barn put in. So the community has 2 barns going in next week, which is pretty cool.
From the same company.
Yep. Louise says they think they are back in Tennessee having their own place. Yep, that's right. I still don't know why we're building stalls for cows, but
because they want
animals get used to a routine. When that changes, they get ornery and confused. Sorry, don't know how to spell ornery, or is it horny? Oh, I mean ornery or Honry.
Harnry.
Yeah, so we're excited. It's coming to a theater near you very shortly.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at? I want to give you guys a pond update. You guys know we had a pond dug out. We broke the dam 2 years ago, and I showed you guys just a little bit ago that we built a new dam. Then we got some rain. That water's probably 6 or 8 feet deep right there, but it's kind of slowly starting to fill up, and we're expecting rain this weekend. So I'm hoping that I can get it all the way full. And I don't know if you guys can see it or not. And I don't know if you can see my mouse either, but right towards the middle of that dam, there's an orange flag. That's the inlet pipe, the outlet pipe right there. So
basically where the dirt changes.
It's got another 6 or 8 feet to fill up before it's full. But what's cool, this gives us our 4th pond. G. John says, "Does the pond need a liner?" Not here, bud. Here, this ground where we live is topsoil, and some people are blessed with 3 feet of topsoil. Some people are cursed with 2 inches of topsoil. I get 8 or 9 inches of topsoil, but it's just hard packed clay the rest of the way. And so yeah, we don't have to have liners out here.
This was a pond initially and has been for as
long
long
time.
As long as the old time neighbors used to swim
Yeah,
in it.
I have a neighbor's name's Harry, who's probably 75 or 80 years old, and he told me he used to swim in this pond when he was a little boy. But for us, once we bought the land, it was a foot deep because over the years the silt fills it in and all that stuff, and so we wanted to break the dam and let it drain, and we did, and then we let it sit for 2 years, and then we got back in there, and I got the bulldozer and dug it all out, and now it's back to it's going to be a much bigger pond, which is a lot more depth, a lot bigger bowl, and that'll be good. Mandy Garrett says, yes, we are blessed with 2 inches of topsoil here in Arkansas. Yeah, Nito says, at least you have topsoil. We have sand. Yeah, I'd take 2 inches over sand, that's for sure, huh?
I kind of thought that when we pulled the dirt out of this that we'd find something.
Like a car
just
or
because
something.
it was so close to
And
the
it's so
road.
old. Yeah, nope. We didn't find anything, and it really wasn't that deep because we were hitting ground with a lot of, those white clay veins. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about or not, but that only happens in undisturbed soil. If it's been dug up before, those wouldn't be there. And we hit them pretty quick. And so we just dug it a lot deeper. So when it's all said and done, this pond will be 15 or 16 feet deep and be decent size, not real big, but again, it'll be our 4th pond and another place for us to be able to rotate our animals around with water that we don't have to carry. Right?
Right.
Psalms 125, yep, or when you feed them scraps and the next day you don't, mine free range. If I don't bring scraps out the next day, the roosters come pecking and scratching at the back door.
Yes.
Yeah. If I want topsoil, I have to create it, says Nitos. I'm so glad I don't have to do that. I have clay with sand on top. Oh, so you don't get
Yikes.
topsoil. Yeah. Topsoil here just turns down the hill. Yeah,
just runs down the hill.
How many acres drain into that pond? So my big pond gets 42 acres of runoff. This pond probably gets 6 or 7. This pond right here.
Because it's only from the south.
It's only that one little part, right? And so then the next pond would get a few more acres, the next pond a few more, and then the big one will end up with 40. But all of my ponds run down and drain into the next pond. And so we've been working on, I got one more I'm going to build someday. I don't know if it'll be this year, next year. It won't be this year, but I got one more. I'm going to end up with 5 ponds, but then I'm ran out of places to put ponds. I have 6 to 8 inches of topsoil, then several feet of clay, then straight sandstone. We have sugar sand. All right, half bubble off plum. What is sugar sand? For those from the Midwest don't know.
Tastes good.
I wanted to show you guys this picture because this is the back of the dam, and we elected to put a flat road area through the back of the dam that will take this road will actually take you over to Bethany's her bees. And I'll gravel this so that we have a road. But what's neat about it is she can drive the back side of the dam and the road, which is on the other side of the pond, no one will be able to see her.
Yeah.
You'll just be able to
So we
scoop.
can actually go around the property,
Yeah.
all 40 acres without going onto
The
public road.
Yeah. And my 40 acres has 5 creek beds that run down through it. So us finally getting to where we have a complete road all the way around is pretty cool. Tag, do you use the pond water as potable drinking water? So RN, we don't use it that way, but we have plumbed it to use it that way. I just never have. I can pull my pond water all the way up into the house and use it to take a shower. We just have never had to because I just never needed to. The well and the rainwater create more than what we need.
Yeah, and it's cleaner.
Psalm says it's sugar sand is called Florida sand. Got it. Hey, I thought tonight, if you guys didn't mind, before we get into the good news, I would share with you guys some memories. These are pictures that came up this week. This is a picture of when B was rocking the big chimney, and if you notice, pod 4 isn't even there.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, look, you got the garage door for the skid loader.
Oh yeah, it's actually on pod 1. You can still see the garage door where I would park the skid loader at night. This is back again when we were building, and the rock wall's not out front.
Yep.
How cool is that?
And you have shingles on pod 1.
I have shingle
on the front around the window.
Oh yeah. We
took pieces of concrete board and cut them to look like shingles and put them on backwards and like nailed them up on the on the front of the house to make them look like depth. But then we ended up not liking it, so we took it down and painted it dark brown.
Yeah, that is so cool. I can see up there on the crow's nest, which is where we're in right now. It's not finished. See that? Yeah. How cool is that? I like looking back at the memories. And this is B's chicken coop.
Chicken coop. Yes.
It's 4.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Yeah.
But that was her chicken coop when I was building it, getting it ready so she could have chickens, which was pretty neat, right? You like that?
Yeah.
All right, now these next pictures, you guys are gonna have to help me laugh. These are all pictures from
memories.
Yep.
Were you just sitting there looking at old pictures?
No, they were coming up there on Facebook, right? At this time of year.
Yeah.
Top right-hand corner is my oldest son giving a hug to my youngest son when he graduated basic training, which was pretty cool. Yep. The first picture right after B&B with me in the plaid shorts, that's my youngest son, right?
Yep.
The rest of them are just B and I getting married and Bethany's niece at graduation and some of those kind of things. But then when I was looking through it, wow, how in the flippity flip did you land B? I don't know, man. Time and pressure, I guess, bud. I don't know. But I found some very interesting pictures of B, and she don't know these are in the live tonight. So you love me, right?
I don't know. What are you doing, man?
Check some of these pictures out.
Oh, come on. You pulled those off of Facebook?
Yeah.
Or off your memory reel?
The memory reel. I don't know what it was, where I was going through them. So top right-hand picture, you guys, those are my 2 boys today, or pretty close to today. And bottom right-hand picture is me and Bethany and the 2 boys as they were growing up. And the one with the middle on the bottom, that's B and I in Alaska. And then there's my basic training Army picture. And
look at that baby face.
And look at the ones right next to me and Bethany now. That's B licking her toe and eating something. What were you doing?
Lovely. Yeah, messing around.
Yeah. So anyway, we just thought we would share with you guys. God, look how young I look. Man, I was young.
Well, 18.
Man. Man, oh man, oh man. That's crazy.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll remove that. Did you like the pictures?
Yes. That was several years ago.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And now we're both old. We got glasses, can't see.
Mandy said these pictures are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaines girl. Yeah, one more rock says beautiful family. Oh, sorry. Yeah, blessed life. Yeah, beautiful family. Yeah, it's crazy. Both those boys are grown up with, their own lives and their own families and their own things now, and, I just get to look back at all of it and, enjoy it. And, it's pretty neat. But all right, you guys ready for the second of 3 announcements tonight?
Sure. Okay,
so I want to introduce you guys to somebody, and I've quoted them several times on my channel because I respect them and I look up to them in a lot of ways. Let me see here. Amy B says, Lover and Rabbit says, B, can you still bite your toe?
Probably.
Time marches on. It's great to laugh together about all those times. Oh, yes, it is. Many a moments when I was younger going mud and sand slinging in the 4-wheel drives and hanging out with friends. Yeah. Okay, so again, I got this buddy. I sit on the Earth Council with him. And so I want to introduce him to you and tell you guys a little story about him here. So I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about Pat Miletich. And I know some of you guys will know who he is, some of you won't, but Pat is a 5-time UFC world champion. He is in the UFC Hall of Fame. He's trained many warriors who have won many world titles. One of the toughest men in America. But what many people don't know about him is that after retiring from MMA, he was a spokesperson, a color commentator, right, for the fights and those kind of things.
Okay.
And he had a contract and all that. And then he went to the White House on January 6th.
Oh.
And the UFC canceled his contract.
Seriously?
This is true. And he has dedicated his life, not just now, but also when he was doing MMA, to understanding soil health. And so they call him the Soil Warrior. And he sits on the Earth Council with me. He is, where is he at here?
Yep,
right there. Yeah, I don't know. Again, you guys probably can't see my mouse. But anyway, he's in the Earth Council with me. And he will be live on my channel to talk about soil and MMA and how it relates together on November the 23rd, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
What day is that? The 23rd?
That would be a Saturday.
Okay.
That's and wonderful. So we're going to talk about the Earth Council. We're going to talk about his MMA. I got some questions for him. I want to know, did he ever fight Tank Abbott? Just silly stuff. But then we're going to get down to earth, and we're going to get down to literally earth and dirt. And we're going to talk about soil health and those kind of things. And in case you guys are curious, this is his website right here, themineralking.life.
Oh,
and
so
what they do, so they have some supplements that you can put in your dirt that will eat heavy metals and glyphosate.
Wow.
And things like that. And they don't do a lot of residential. They do a lot of big commercial stuff. Like they'll take land that was, let's say, mining, mining operation, and they'll clean the land up so that it can be sold and those kind of things. But he does have some, regular old people product that we can do on land and stuff. And we're going to do some experimenting with it here, even though I don't have a lot of heavy metals here. It's been a long time since my place has been farmed, but we're going to do a little playing with it. But what I also want to tell you guys about Pat is that he will also be here at my house on the 8th of May, and we'll be at the Midwest Preparedness Project.
Oh, that'll be
in May.
That'll be awesome.
Yep. So I don't know all the details yet. They're still to be determined and worked out. Bobby Spags knows more about it than I do, but we'll get some more details as time wears on. But I hope you guys can join me on November the 23rd at 7 p.m. and help me welcome Pat Miletich, UFC Hall of Famer and soil saver, to Kansas and to our community and to the Life Done Free group here on YouTube. Yeah, One Step says, "Oh, cool, he can spar with Bobby." Actually, we're putting him up to that. Yeah. Gregory's super interesting guy. You know what? He has given me so many great quotes. I've quoted him a bunch in my lives, but I was talking to him 2 or 3 or 4 days ago. I remember, but he was talking about how it was very easy for him to lose faith in humanity, and but all he has to do is remember the kids, and the kids are worth fighting for, and that we owe it to the next generation to get up and do something about it. And he's been fighting his whole life. And now he serves on the Earth Council with me. And
you're talking about fighting.
I'm talking about when you stop fighting with your fist and you start fighting with your brain, and you start doing it other ways. Although I'm telling you, I wouldn't ever want to fight Pat Miletich. That would be a bad day for most of us. Hey, Brett Boyd, how are you? Yeah. So anyway, that's what's coming. So I just thought you guys ought to know that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yep. So that's my second announcement of 3 that we're going to do tonight, right? Did I cover everything on your list, baby? What else you got? Because I've been talking for a while.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, it's right at an hour. So that means it's probably time for us to get into the good news. Would you guys agree? Are we ready for some good news? Good news. Let's see here. North Carolina needs help. Billy from Permapasture Farms and Alan Booker are working to remediate the toxins there. They need people like y'all to help. You know what? I did not think about that, but I can absolutely connect those two. I'll make a note. I'll thank you for Psalms 125 for letting me know that. I will connect Pat and Billy Bond together, and we'll make that connection. Got it. I will make that happen. Brett says you guys look cold. Nah, it's not too bad now. Let me see here. Tag and B, did you all have time to check out the Weston A. Price Foundation? JFK Jr., Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, Joe Salatin, Sally Fallon Morrill, and some of the other people are on the board. Yes, I know who that is. And I'm actually going to talk about some of these people here a little bit later as we get through the live. Joel's got his hands in a lot of things. Yeah, would you say JFK? Yeah, I knew what you meant, RFK. Yep, love the good news. Yep, super cool. Mm-hmm. That's an an awesome connection to make. Yep, I'll make it tonight. I will send Billy Bond a text, and I'll see if I can get them hooked up, which I guarantee you I can. And Pat will absolutely help him. He's a super, super, super good guy. Thank you for that tag. Billy is really spearheading soil cleanup with bio remediation through windrow composting. Yep, sounds good. I will. Like I said, I'll make that connection. I didn't even think about that. That's why. This is why community matters, right? Yeah. Had they not been on the live tonight, had we not talked about that, I maybe would have never made a connection that could save people and make people healthier. It's pretty awesome. All right, you guys ready for some good news tonight?
Yes.
The first good news is looks like Taylor Swift was wrong about another man.
Oh no.
Come on, that was funny. And hey, Hakesraw54, how are you? Is there a Star Wars coincidence, right? 2016 brought on A New Hope, followed by 2020, The Empire Strikes Back, followed by The Return of the Jedi. I think that's funny. Yeah, Brett Boyd says, Tag and B, do you feel uneasy with the surrender of the election, or am I just nuts? I'm actually going to talk about that, Brett. And no, I do not. Yep. So we have a Star Wars connection, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and Taylor Swift was wrong about yet another man. So I think that's funny.
And you got her crying.
Well, of course I did. Oh, I'm going to announce that in a minute. All right. Let's see here. All right, guys. Lots in the news as you can imagine. Brett Weinstein said, we mustn't kid ourselves. There's a long, perilous road ahead, but failure was not an option in this election. Every single honorable person, even the mesmerized ones who voted blue, needed a Trump victory too big to rig. The Republic still has to be rescued, but step one was make or break, and we made it. For those who can't fathom this perspective, for those who brought the vicious nonsense about Trump, MAGA, Maha, and the Unity Movement, the dominant feeling this morning for me and many others who endorsed Trump is one of profound relief. The extreme elation that comes from the discovery that you have survived when survival was in serious doubt. We dodged a bullet. It won't be the last, but everything hung in the balance and many of us understood it. Now let's put our civilization back on track. There's no time to waste. I thought I would give you guys a quote tonight that talks about empowerment is never about blame. It's about taking personal responsibility. I only bring this up, you guys, just to talk about how it took us 100 years to get here. Trump's not going to fix it in 4. Okay, there's a long road ahead. And I'm going to tell you something. Trump, even if he had 100, couldn't fix it alone. and all of those wonderful appointments that are around him and people that he's talking to, and I'm going to talk about many of them tonight, even with all of them, they're not going to be able to fix it alone. It's going to land, as it always does, on the shoulders of the American people. At the end of the day, if you will stand up and you'll go into your county commissioner meetings, if you will stand up and you will get into your board, your school board meetings, if you will have your voice be heard, finally, for the first time in my whole life that I can remember, we have an ally potentially. We have people on the other side who are in the fight. And, my question to everybody who's listening tonight and anybody who will listen as time wears on is, will you let them stand alone? Or is it time now to take a stand? Is it time now to make sure that people understand no is in fact a complete sentence? We can do our part too. We're just going to have to go do it. This isn't about Trump. Trump is the big glowing light at the top of all of it. But at the end of the day, many Democrats endorsed Trump and many Republicans endorsed Kamala. This wasn't a Republican or Democrat thing. This is a hope thing, and it will have, we will be able to demonstrate the law of unintended consequences on many, many fronts, but it's going to take every single one of us. And if we sit behind and wait for Trump to fix it, guys, I guarantee you 100% of the time, he will not be able to fix it. It's going to take everybody to get up and do something about it. Hey, Ghetto, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. We were just talking about Taylor Swift. I'm glad you missed it. One Step Closer says it was one battle won and a long road ahead. Tag, I think lots are willing to support Trump, but not many are willing to sacrifice. If people aren't willing to sacrifice, Brett, it's not going to get fixed. I'm telling you, he can't do it alone. This is the time for the American people to take the republic back. And if the American people don't have the courage and are unwilling to sacrifice, then this was the last dying, gasping breath of the republic. And you should just pack your bags, because that's the end of it. I'd like to start hearing, instead of peaceful handover of power, a peaceful handover of responsibility. Ooh, love that. True, Tag, but at least he will stop the progress of the wrong direction. You know what, Nitos? He's going to be able to stop some of it, but he's not going to be able to stop it because it's so ingrained in every layer of society. Right here in Jackson County, Kansas, right where you live, in your county, there's corruption. Right where you live, there's lawfare. There's those things that go on. There's, illegal warrants being signed. There's corruption. It's going on at every single level. He is incapable, as anybody would be, of fixing it if we don't go fix it for ourselves. We have to go do it. So happy we have 4 years. I'm happy we do too. I hope we take advantage of it. Kerry Davis says we all need to work our no muscles. Let's see here. Trump is a puppet. I'm glad people feel better about his win, but the only way we really change anything is with community. David, I couldn't agree more. We have to change it. We've had some amazing wins locally here, and thankfully, because our community is wrapped full of leaders who will take charge, but we've had some of those wins, but those wins have to go on in every single community. We have to go make noise, and we have to go say no more. And if we do that, we're in a great position. We're going to have people in leadership positions who will be for some of these things. And I'm going to share lots of tweets with you guys tonight about exactly what I'm talking about. We can do it, but we have to go take a role. We can't just sit back and wait for Trump to do it. And we don't need to get complacent or blinded by a temporary win. Don't give up more freedoms just because it's our side. 100%. I'm just going to talk about some of that too. The real struggle begins after inauguration. Yeah. If you sit around waiting for the government to fix things, you'll be waiting a long damn time. 100%. A day may come when the courage of men fails and we forsake our friends and break the bonds of fellowship, but it is not this day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. It's a great quote. You surprised I knew that?
No.
Oh, okay. I pray and will be going to local meetings and not put up with crazy. Brett, you need to do it. All of us need to do it. Right? And I'll support you. You absolutely will. All right, ready to continue?
Yes.
All right. So huge news, Elon Musk says the German socialist government has collapsed and there are now talks about snap elections. Vladimir Putin declared the death of the New World Order just 2 days after the election results and the day after Elon Musk's cryptic tweet. Putin says the New World Order is a thing of the past. Our message to our brothers and sisters across the pond at our June 1st rally outside the United Kingdom Parliament, as Europe rised against globalist politicians and parties, all eyes were on Donald Trump. It's time to build strong networks and drain the world's swamps. To the silent patriots of Britain, our voices have been sidelined for too long. But just as the silent majority in the U.S. has spoken, it's time for us to rise, unite, and resolute in defense of our values and heritage. Our message is clear. Britain deserves strength. People are marching for Jesus in Iraq. The Baroness of England, superb speech on Islamism, terrorism, and anti-Semitism. She mentions multiculturalism as a myth while political correctness stifles debate, particularly if you're on the right. Clerics from mosques across the UK are still calling for jihad. It's time to listen. And Laura Ingraham gets agitated and calls out the do-nothing rhino speaker Mike Johnson when he suggests comprehensive immigration reform as a GOP solution. And she called him out and said, "Where have you been?" I bring all of these things up, guys, because I think the thing we can capitalize on is not Trump. I think what we can capitalize on is that energy. There are people not just in our country, but all over, right, in Europe, saying, hey, we can as a people stand up. We can do something. This is what I'm talking about on those laws of unintended consequences, right? How something as an American election, the ripple effects it can have across the globe. And we're going to see many of those, right? And I think it's amazing that the people in the UK and in other parts of Europe are going, wait a second. If the American people could stand up, we can stand up too. And hopefully we can all stand up, you know? Oops, sorry, I missed it. I'll get back to that one. Not one person can do it. We all have to rise to the opportunity. If we don't speak out, then we will fall for every evil they dish out. I could not agree more. What I was saying is pulling us out of the global stuff that would take our country from us. Yeah, well, I think maybe we will see that rise of nationalism, right? I think Putin, although he won't say it publicly, is super happy that Trump's involved, that has won the election, right? Because again, it's against that establishment. Guys, this election was not about Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
It wasn't about any of that. I'm telling you, the Trump won. It was not an endorsement of the Republicans. It was a endorsement against the woke bullshit that we've been dealing with forever. It was a statement against boys and girls sports. It was a statement against 21 genders. That's what it was. It was a statement against all of this stuff, right? Seize the day and become active. It took a long time to screw our system up. It'll take even longer to fix it. We are sovereign. It's time we act like it. I love you guys. I hope the New World Order is on its way to the grave, but I don't think they are going down easy. And they might rise from the grave, so we need to do enough to keep them down. Look at all that. You guys are awesome. I hope Trump stops USA credit card payouts we pay for the world's bills. I think he's going to do some of that for sure. Yes, Gainsgirl says the ripple effect. Yep, we're going to talk a lot about the ripple effect because I think it's going to be big. One More Rock says, I was blown away that Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan backed Trump. I think it's wonderful. I think people, seeing through the bullshit that was out there, because it's all just propaganda, but that propaganda works both ways. Hey, RN, good night to you. Yep. Concurred versus inspired. Gary Davis, I hope you and I's path cross someday. You know that? I do. We have no choice but to stand up. They are destroying the U.S. and all of God's land and creations and greed and death. They're a death cult. Spag says, I don't look for the easy. I look for the hard. Well, we get to choose our hard. We want to choose the hard now of walking into a commissioner's meeting and saying enough, or a school board meeting and saying enough, or do we want to wait till it's much, much harder? Just to poke the bear a tad, this win only happened. Why? Because people voted. Well, I think people voted, and I'm not exactly sure how honest the system is. I'm happy the way that it turned out. I've been very critical of Trump, Hippocrates, and you know this, and I've done this on my channel just because when I think about a president, that's not what I see. But I'm growing in this a little bit too, and that maybe it's not about Trump. Maybe we needed a pompous ass. Maybe we needed, this megalomaniac, to light the spark. We always talk about the spark that there could be one little thing that sends our country to its knees, and we're just one little spark away, and all of these things are wrong. But is it also true that we're one spark away beginning to turn it around to go the other way?
Mm.
And maybe God, your creator, whoever it is, maybe he's using the megalomaniac, obnoxious, Trump to create this mission. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. Sons of Hacks, how are you? Said, I'd like to see Trump's opinions on the Grain Belt Express and the massive land grab. You know what? I can actually probably get that question answered. Maybe not from Trump, but maybe from RFK. I'll try for you. Klaus Schwab said before the election that he was scared of a Trump win. We need to make Haas fears justified. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people scared. A whole bunch. Brett Boyd says, local, stand up, don't be lazy. Do your part, right, Brett? Right? Are we going to, these people, RFK, Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk.
Yeah. Right?
Rasami, even down to like Charlie Kirk, all of them, they gambled a lot on all this. And they put a lot on the line, And are we going to be the ones to let them down? Or are we going to go do our part? Right. Wilma Rock says, and for the first time, the Amish rose up and voted in droves.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying maybe it's not a Trump thing. Maybe this is the spark that causes people to stand up. I hope that it's true. That type of evil is never eradicated. Take vigilance and keep that heel on their throat. Sometimes you need a jerk to get things done. Spag says, preach it. I try not to preach, but I just get on a roll, We can start with tax-free for all American citizens. I'm not a big fan of tax, and there is some news that Trump's proposing on the taxes, but he's proposing a lot of things. It'd be pretty hard to get them all done, right? I think we need some of the people that will work in various appointment positions to help for sure. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a bunch of them tonight, Jen. Trump is the only one man. He's just a face of we the people. It's only we the people that can take our country back. Jules, I could not agree more. Trump is a megalomaniac, but that makes him confident enough to be able to talk to anyone, anywhere about anything. That's a rare gift. Yeah, and maybe that's what we need, we were not going to get out of what we were in by playing the status quo. I recognize this. We weren't going to, Mitt Romney was never going to get us here. Right? And, Marco Rubio was never going to get us here. We needed something completely outside the box. I do agree with this. He does seem to be putting together a great team. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. We'll be dealing with evil until Jesus comes back. When Kamala said, you're at the wrong rally, that's a small rally down the street. Oh, yeah, I think that might have been the very moment that ended it, One More Rock. Yep, she left independence with no other choice. I pray Christians are tired of being quiet. Brett Boyd, I think this is the point. Does the stuff that Trump did, does all of these things that go on, is the ripple effect courage? I just, in the matter of a couple days, there's people in Europe standing up. I seen a guy walk right up to a British police officer and tell him they weren't doing their job. Get these immigrants out of here. What about this crime? Will you try to arrest me? Because, over in England, they're arresting people for thought crimes, for a post, right, that they decide to put on Facebook. You have people in England standing up. We have people all over our country, new things that are coming, just like the Laura Ingraham thing that's on your screen. Laura Ingraham flat out called out the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, a Republican, and said, you've been there all this time and you've done nothing. Is Trump courage? And is that the law of unintended consequences? And is the side effect, is the ripple effect, as Skane's girl says, is that what actually saves our country? Trump is arrogant. And last admin started, he said Hillary would answer for Servergate, and it never happened. Agreed. I look forward to holding him accountable for actually draining the swamp. Yeah, this is Amy B. This has been my argument the whole time: is why didn't he drain the swamp? And I'm not letting him off the hook. He was the president of the United States. Why didn't he drain the swamp? But I think this time, the one change that I've noticed is who is he surrounding himself with. We're not hearing a lot of calls for Mike Pompeo, right? And we're not hearing a lot of calls for the status quo, politicians who will surround him. And in fact, they're mostly just out of the box people who you won't know a lot about in many cases, right? the English arrested people praying silently outside an abortion clinic. Yep, this is what I'm talking about. But you have people in England right now standing up. I mean, Harman Kapoor said, and I'll read it again because I already read it, but he said, and this was in England, and he said, "To the silent patriots of Britain, our voices have been sidelined for too long. But just as the silent majority in the U.S. has spoken, it's time for us to rise, united and resolute in defense of our values and heritage. Our message is clear. Britain deserves strength." That's pretty cool. Hey, Palmetto Paratrooper, what's up, y'all? Yep. G. John says, calling half Americans deplorables or garbage never seems to win votes. Yeah, that wasn't smart. I believe the next 2 years will be fast-moving machine before the midterms. It's going to have to be, right? Does the Congress understand what happened in this election? I think there's a lot of people scared, and if they do what they say they're going to do, they're going to clean a lot of house, which will take a lot of time. You're talking about hiring tens of thousands of new people, right? Tens of thousands. Yep. If we go by Trump's track record, he put swamp creatures into every key cabinet position in his administration the last time. He set his own self up. 100% agreed. And he don't get off the hook. But I'm going to tell you, again, some of the things that are coming down the pipe now, I'm much happier about, than Mike Pompeo. Brett said, I thought this country was based on "in God we trust." Well, and Trump sure seems to be able to speak that language. We'll see if his actions will back it up. Right?
Yeah.
Linda says, and this is a liberal, I thought this was just super fascinating. She says, our side lost because of the intolerance of the tolerant left. If you don't see that, then we will keep losing. People didn't vote for Trump. They voted against you. They voted against your, if you don't agree with me, then you are my enemy mentality. They voted against your need to have an echo chamber or risk being canceled. They voted against being attacked for a difference of opinion. They voted against being called pedos and racists and homophobes, Nazis, simply for disagreeing with you. They voted for the right to keep you out of decisions for their children. They voted against having to walk on eggshells for the fear of offending someone. I don't care who I piss off by saying this. Step out of the tunnel vision, have a civil conversation with folks, and take responsibility for your part of pushing people who were on the fence to vote against you.
Ouch.
But I couldn't have said that any better.
Right.
And that this was written by a liberal. Right? There is so much more that unites us that one divides us.
Right.
The problem is we get caught up listening to the media. We get caught up listening to the politicians.
That's the problem.
We get caught up into what a woman is. We get caught up into, the Kardashians. We get caught up into this commercialism thing. When really, if we would just sit down, a lot of us are just people, I wanted to share this. Well, what I'm saying, we're just normal people. You know what I mean? The maps of California out there are who voted for who in 2020 and 2024. And I thought this was super fascinating. California is very liberal, but look at the ground the conservative movement made in 2024. I mean, I think that is absolutely encouraging, right?
Yeah.
One step closer says, be stubborn and unreasonable. If they offer an inch, take a mile. I think he learned a lesson, One More Rock says. I hope he did. I really do. Learning curve. And he was so busy fighting Russian legal crap, praying for a freight train. If they cleaned house, that would include 90% of Congress and the Senate. I'm going to talk a lot about what the stuff Trump is promising to do this time around to include that. A lot of, where are we at? I'm way up there. Sorry. A lot of people finally woke up. If we can't disagree and shake hands and break bread, right? 100% agreed. Make sure you hit that like button. Keep the message of Freeman from being choked by the algorithm. Thanks, Spags. I'm a horrible promoter of my own channel. If none of you guys have ever noticed, I really don't ask people to subscribe or like, or I just don't. Maybe I should. I just don't.
Maybe that's why we're here at 7,000.
Right. I don't know. Right. Tag Trump is going to F up the global climate change takeover because he won't let us continue to foot the bill. Yeah, see, Brett Boyd, although I agree with half of what you said right there, I think he's going to F it up. I think that's true. But I think he's going to F it up because of his megalomaniac. I think he's going to make a lot of these changes because of the warrants that were served against him personally. I think he's going to do it out of his own ego. But that ego is to our benefit, right? Wouldn't be if it was on the other side.
Right.
But it's to our benefit. A huge Sons of Hacks is a huge help with Elon's purchase of Twitter. If dude, I don't Sons of Hacks, I would argue it was bigger than that. It would not have happened without Elon Musk, because without that purchase of Twitter, they would have absolutely cut down every conservative message, all of the campaigns, all of those kind of things. I think it was gigantic. But Elon's purchase of Twitter, starting the stand across media to stay neutral, it made it difficult to hide the corruption or stick out as being biased. Yep, they tried to shovel transhumanism down our throats. Pretty sure some are not prompt. They're hell's minions. This group is perfect to get good people nominated for advisory positions on this site. Please think about a good person you know and nominate them or endorse them. 100%. Not people, freaking autocorrect. Not people. Oh, okay, so she said, pretty sure some are not people. They're hell's minions. Hey, Squatchy! Like the way California looks now, kinda. Yeah, a lot better, huh? Yep, good to see you, bud. Let's see here. Want to bet that Elon knew how to hack the Dominion systems to prevent the programming from switching votes? So if you're saying that he knew how to hack the systems? Interesting. So the people who are preppers, 1.5 million in the U.S., 5 million-ish popular vote win. Over the same time, they brought in 20 million and raised the debt 35 trillion, and we're still losing, but more positive. Yeah, the world's still a mess, 100%. And it ain't going to get easier. It's going to get much, much harder, and we have to prepare for that harder. But at least so far, it appears there's somebody on our side. Maha, Make America Healthy Again, has segments to nominate people for farm and ag as one. Yep, I'm going to talk about that here in just a bit. Squatchy says 2024 looks pretty normal and 2020 is fake. Yeah, Brett Boy says, I have no autocorrect. I like looking dumb. All right, let's get it trucking. Oh my goodness, we're an hour and a half in. I went to bed last night when I knew it was over. But I woke up this morning and saw this. Trump got 71 million votes. Kamala got 66 million. How can that be? Something isn't effing right. Biden got 81 million votes in 2020, and Trump got 74 million. Yeah, Trump actually received less votes this time than he did the first time. And Kamala Harris received less votes than Biden, but the truth is Kamala Harris also received more votes than Obama did in 2012. She received more votes than Clinton did in 2016 and more votes than Kerry in 2004.
Wow.
Right? The thing is that Biden got 81 million. Look at the black picture on the right-hand side. In 2004, Kerry got 59 million votes. In 2008, Obama got 69.5 million. In 2012, Obama got 65.9. Clinton received the same amount, 65.9 in 2016 when she lost to Trump. Biden beat Trump with 81.3 million votes, and Harris this time had 66.4 million votes. So what Harris received was more than Obama, Clinton, just not Biden, right? All right, where am I at? Are they finished with the U.S. yet? As far as counting votes, I still think they're at it. Laugh out loud. Hey, Squatchy, praying for California. Then the air shows and shenanigans causing them fires. It's because there was an election rapture. Ha ha. They all disappeared. Is the voting discrepancy due to the extra ballots that were not supposed to be counted or pulled out from under tables? Well, I think the discrepancy isn't that, Amy. I think it's because their expectations were Biden numbers of 81.3 million. And they're thinking that there's 20 million missing votes. What happened? They were going to have this great big turnout. But when they need to put it into perspective, it's about the same as when Clinton ran against Trump or Obama ran against, McCain, those are all very similar numbers. Nito says, yeah, 2020 is an outlier. So what really happened? There's the question. Yeah. Sounds like the last election. Oops. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of extra illegals this go around. Yeah. I checked the voting map tonight, and Arizona and Nevada are still not resulted, but they are leaning towards Trump. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing too. So anyway, I just wanted to put it into perspective. Harris received more votes than Obama or Clinton. Just saying. This is wild. So here's the first 10 things the president-elect has said that he will do. I don't know how many of you guys have read this, but I'm going to read it for those who did not. Here's this 10-point plan to unravel the deep state. Number 1, restore the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats. Okay, let's talk about this. So if the president has the ability to remove rogue bureaucrats, so by using the word bureaucrat, that would be an elected position. I'm assuming everybody would agree. So should the president of the United States have the ability to remove an elected official? What do you think?
People that were voted in?
Yes. He used the word bureaucrat. So
yeah.
Should the president of the United States have the ability to remove an elected official?
Yes.
No. Why would you say yes?
Do
you think that the president's vote should outweigh the vote of the people?
No, I guess not. But I was thinking if you have one person say, like, I don't know, like a sheriff that's corrupt, and he gets, I don't know, 80 million votes, then who can stop him? Who can stop that person?
Okay, so if what you're talking about is election fraud, that's what an attorney general's office is for, right? And if there was a crime committed, the people should face that crime.
That person.
However, if the people elected the sheriff, let's move it down to a shorter thing. Let's talk about a county level. Should the county commissioner be able to remove the sheriff who was elected by the people?
I guess not, unless there was some crime that had been committed that they could.
And who gets to decide that? Who gets to decide it's a crime?
Well, I mean,
it can't be one person, right?
If it's a crime,
due process, a court case, right? A peer of juror,
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be this arbitrary thing. So I'm not real fan of the first one. Mo says this is important. Mo says a bureaucrat is a government official but not elected. I would disagree with that a bureaucrat could absolutely be elected, but if it is a non-elected official, then I'm in support of it, because a non-elected official is an employee, no difference than working for a CEO, and someone has to make the call, right?
Okay.
Depending on your definition. But in these days, definitions are hard to come by.
Well.
Right? Well, it is, babe. It's not so simple.
They're changing definitions.
They are changing definitions, yes. Number 2, fire corrupt actors in national security and intelligence apparatus. Could not agree more. They're not elected. Right now, if these corrupt actors in the national security and intelligence apparatus, if any of them are elected, I would be opposed. If they weren't, I'd be fine. Number 3, reform the FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in a warrant application. And again, I think this is super fascinating because he's going directly after the stuff that happened to him, right? They had the raid on Mar-a-Lago, right? And all that stuff that went on. But I would agree with this also. Number 4, establish truth. And this one gave me the creeps until I read the whole thing. So the first few words does not make it sound good. Establish Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Like, that gives me the EBGBs, just the word of it, right? Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. I'm 100% for transparency at every level, every single level, all the way down to the county level. So I would love a commission that's whole entire job was to declassify and publish documents. Number 5, crack down on government leakers who can collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. Again, this is a slippery slope. Let's say that another way. Crack down on whistleblowers who collude with the news, right, to weave narratives that are anti-government. Right? I mean, this is a dangerous slope, because my question would be is, who determines it's fake news? What's the difference between a government leaker and a whistleblower? Right? Who gets to determine it's a false narrative? Who gets to determine it's to subvert the government and the democracy? Like, that's bad to me. Number 5 is bad to me, because who gets to determine it? Who gets to determine it's a false narrative?
Right.
Is that a false narrative based upon what Trump says?
Mm.
That's all bad. Number 6, make every inspector general's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee. Yep, I agree with that one. Ask Congress to establish independent auditing system to monitor our intelligence agencies and ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people. Totally love this, except what's disinformation? Is it only disinformation in the eyes of the conservatives? If it's only disinformation in the eyes of who? Right? Spag says, let free market decide. Couldn't agree more. This one I really love. Number 8. Move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside of Washington. Just like I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado. I would love to see the different departments all over the United States, because what you could do is you could strategically place them in more freedom-loving type states. If you did that, the employees you would attract would help you hold those systems accountable. If you put more employees with a freedom-minded mindset in, you would get less corruptions and also spread that all over the, all over the country, which I really like. Number 9, ban federal bureaucracies from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate, like Big Pharma. So, like, for example, if you were in charge of the FDA and you regulated Big Pharma in some places, then once you got out of FDA, you couldn't go work for Bar Pharma.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Do you like that idea? It's a trick question.
I don't know. What is it? Because they're paying him.
Okay. Well, let me read number 10, and then let's go back to that one. Number 10 says, push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on the members of Congress, which we all love, right?
I thought
They come in, they serve 4 years, they go home. But wait a second. So if you put me in a job in charge of the FDA,
and then your job is done.
Okay, but the reason I got the job for the FDA is because I know a lot about that topic.
Okay.
Then when I get out, I can't go back to work.
Right. Because you're banned from.
I'm banned from that industry. So what impact would that have on people wanting to serve in those roles? Marjorie Taylor Greene says, holy shit, President Trump just dropped his plan to dismantle the deep state. This is the most important 3 minutes. Guys, you can get on YouTube and you can watch these 10 discussed.
Does he discuss them or he just reads them?
No, the people discuss them. These are what he said. Guys, I have missed so many comments. I don't even know where I am. So I'm just going to pick one and read from there. Restore the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats. Since when did any president have that authority? See, this is Psalms 125. This is exactly. Trump is spouting off something a king would say. See, these are the things that I worry about, right? And there's a lot of stuff in here I really, really like. Love term limits, love a lot of this stuff. Some of this is what scares me. Sounds good now, but could easily be freedoms given away. There are already laws and judicial processes that can handle much of this if they're just used. Well, this is the thing, guys. Just because this benefits us today, just because we're on that side, this is exactly how I would imagine the libs felt in the last presidency. Freedom only works if it works for everybody, whether you agree with them or not.
Right.
Right? This stuff worries me. Let's see here. Kelly May says if he gets some of those past the wrong side, could use them for bad.
Right.
Yep, exactly. Brett Boy said decommission all unelected government. Yeah, I think when they leave, they should not get benefits. Don't let government officials make policy and then give government contracts to their family companies and enforce the laws on being able to purchase stock from them. Similar to a non-compete, they'd have to agree to it before they started. Why would anyone want to serve? If I could only serve for 4 years, right? Because I'm under a president who probably wouldn't get reelected, which means my position is going to get refilled.
Yep.
I worked my whole life, let's say 30 years to be the best at X. Then I go into regulating X. I can't go back into that business.
Right.
So would we get the best of the best of the best in those positions?
Or would they say no?
Right. G. John says term limits with no lifetime benefits. Unfund them. Keep Congress from exempting themselves from laws. That's a great one. 10 reads term limits on Congress. Yep. Number 5, tag, I believe, is talking about things like Schumer talking to the press after leaving a closed-door confidential meeting, or the Supreme Court leak before the actual release of the ruling in number 5. And that is a crackdown on government leakers. Yeah, okay, well, I get that. But again, I think you have to define that. What is a government leaker? That would have to be very specific for me to sign off on, because what this also says to me is if you're a whistleblower and you didn't like something and you conclude and you take the story to the news media and you spread a narrative the government doesn't like, you're all bad, right? I mean, I think you want to be in a position, even if you're running a company, a family, I wouldn't ever want to be in a position where the people around me were scared to tell me the truth.
Right.
Or scared to tell me what they really thought. If I'm doing something stupid, I want B to tell me I'm doing something stupid. I may still do it, but I still would prefer that was said. The instigator says, think about how Hitler got so much power. He didn't take it. It was handed to him. Yep. Rescind the anchor baby law. If you came here illegally and had a child. Yeah. And this is already in the works. Jen.
And the child is...
Dana Green says, good night. Chin is bouncing off chest. Dana, have a good night. G. John says, wait, if they only get a job for a limited time and no lifetime pension or benefits, who would want it for just insider trading benefits? I wouldn't want it if you couldn't get back into it, right? A bureaucratic is a non-elected government employee. A bureaucrat is a non-elected employee. I think it comes down to a definition, right? If the president is 8 years, maybe 8 years for Congress. Again, would I want to give up a 20-year career for an 8-year job that I couldn't go back into? Not sure. A government leaker is someone who broke the law to do it. I think that's a slippery slope, Mo. Maybe. I don't think members of Congress and their families should be able to buy stock because they have insider trading information. 100% agree. Whistleblower and leaker are two different things, Tag. There are specific laws already in place for whistleblowers. Jules, I understand that there are, depending on who you talk to, a difference in definition. I think that's a slippery slope. And as long as it was clearly defined in that way, maybe. But also, I think it's a slippery slope when you're trying to push down a whistleblower of any kind. So I'm not suggesting that's the case, but I'm suggesting that there's some slippery slopes in all of this. Yeah, Gregor says they consider whistleblowers bad already. Right. Yep, term limits for everybody, right? We need to clean up all 3 layers of all 3-letter agencies. Couldn't agree more. Take every one of these 10 and imagine if they were presented by AOC or Pelosi. Right. Right? Yeah, Graveheart says, and no more time changes. I'm so proud of everyone here tonight. Thank you very much. Amen. I think it's great. We better get trucking. Okay. JD Vance explains what's to come next. The following interview was filmed before the election. He says that Trump will fire all the people within the federal government who will work to obstruct him. And then the media will then work to manipulate the public and political leaders into not doing things the American people actually want, which will be followed by Trump will start mass deportations, which will trigger the media to release fake public polls claiming Americans don't actually support these mass deportations, even though they do. Alex Jones was breaking that Trump is seriously considering eliminating the income tax. And they actually showed how they would do that, which was actually sounded pretty easy. President Trump will fire every official or agent at the FBI, CIA, DHS, and CDC, etc., that forced big tech to censor the truth about the 2020 election and COVID. This is why I'm glad Musk is around. He will also strip security clearances of the 51 Intel officials who labeled Hunter Biden's laptop as Russian disinformation. And to who said it about the time limits? Someone was talking about no more time. Grateful Heart Ranch says no more time changes. Charlie Kirk says, I personally am going to push for an end to the daylight savings time. This is the dumbest thing ever. Because I don't think Charlie Kirk gets enough credit. This is a guy who went around to every college campus in the country and stood and took the heat, the entire way. And I think he played a gigantic role in turning some of them young hearts and minds around. Hey, Sam Russell, how are you? Says they need to add retirement age or 20-year term for the Supreme Court. Yeah, most of these must be thought about in terms of how they could be used against you. Yes, in the future, should they be retained by a more liberal side? Could not agree more. Cancel the security clearance of all those who no longer work for the government. All right. Donald Trump just announced his plan against the illegal aliens. He will end citizenship for children of illegal immigrants. This is a very clear message that he will be mass deporting all of them. Hamas calls for immediate end to war after Trump's election win. So Trump gets elected. Hamas calls an end to the war. Bitcoin shoots to the highest it's ever been. The stock market shoots to the sky in record numbers. And Putin says he's ready for negotiations to end the war in Ukraine. And he hasn't even been in office yet. Donald Trump has been the president-elect for not even 2 days, and Steve Madden is halting manufacturing in China by half in a year. Again, Hamas calls for an end. Iran-backed Houthis announced a ceasefire, and Putin is ready to negotiate for peace. And the New York City has just announced that they'll be ending its food voucher program for the migrants. New York City has announced it will no longer provide these vouchers to migrants for food, ending the pilot program that has faced repeated criticism.
Then they're going to start getting it somewhere else.
Yeah, I think this is actually kind of scary too, just from the perspective of this is a lot of expectations. He's one guy, and I want to give him a fair shot, but yeah, some pretty good stuff for sure. And I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of that stuff take place. Some liberal governors are already saying they'll use executive authority to stop Trump from deporting illegals from their states. So we're going to get to a point where a handful of blue states will be where all of these 30 or 40 million illegals congregate and create their havoc. This is going to get very ugly very fast. Trump needs to defy those governors considering placing them under arrest for harboring fugitives and deport anyway. Again, guys, super slippery slope, right? So let's look at this whole statement again, right? So first thing is that when he does this and these governors do this, it's exactly right. These migrants are going to push to the places they feel safe. This is super common sense. So if you live in one of those states, I would encourage you to vote with your feet, get out, come join a community. You're welcome here or anywhere else, but do that. But listen to this. Trump needs to defy those governors considering placing them under arrest. Any power not specifically given to the federal government lies in the hands of the state, right? That's how it was designed.
Yeah. You keep going back to that.
Well, that's how it's designed, and it's super important. Oh, wait. I can't. Yeah, one more rock says, oh, gosh, ignore my comment. I was trying to edit. Now I got to not ignore it. I loved watching the college campuses rally for Trump because they got me involved for the first time. Why would you edit that? That's beautiful. Let's see here. Don't forget the misogynist pick as a lady chief staff. Well, I'm going to cover that, actually. Oh, great. Starving immigrants ravaging and looting because they aren't getting fed.
Because they're hungry.
Yeah. Doesn't this sound like the right's version of Kamala's joy period? Yeah, this is what I'm saying, guys. This. I don't like any of this, right? Massachusetts governor says her state won't assist with deportations if the Trump administration asks. She says she will protect the illegals in her state.
Massachusetts.
So here builds up a war, right? You get all this conflicting stuff, but unfortunately, I side with the liberal governor of Massachusetts, not because I think that you should allow a whole bunch of people to come illegally, or maybe you should. I don't know. But at the end of the day, any power not specifically given to the federal government belongs to the hands of the state. And I think it's a state issue. And yeah, it's rough. Let's see here. Gregory says Trump told Hamas to release the hostages before he gets in office, or there'll be a price to pay. I've seen that. Yeah, you guys don't get it. He has to be like The Apprentice, you're fired. He has to be like The Apprentice, you're fired. The anti-deportation governors may build a firewall, but if the people of those states organize and rise up, they'll probably crumble. They're spineless. This is super important, and the people need to decide. But where do we want the federal government to be the all everything?
No.
You really don't,
That wasn't their initial job.
No, it's not their job. Trump, I mean, you could argue that one of the federal government's job is to protect us against foreign adversaries. And you could argue that this is a foreign adversary. I think you could make that argument, but yeah, as Kerry Davis said, we've been unburdened by what has been. Yeah. Let's not forget Germany's government having a heart attack before collecting themselves when Trump won, and an Alpha Genesis lab had yeah, I'm going to cover both of those. Good for you, bud. The firing of elected official needs to be done by the people, not the president. Of an elected official, that's correct. All right, let's keep trucking. And because since we were talking about this, right? So Trump makes history, names campaign co-chair, first ever female White House to chief of staff. Trump has said Susie, Wiles is her name. She says, Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. Susie will continue to work tirelessly to make America great again. It is a well-deserved honor to have Susie as the first ever female chief of staff of the United States history. And this is interesting because a lot of the left ran on, there's no smart women around Trump. There's no powerful women around Trump.
Right.
You know, anti-women's rights. Women are going to lose their rights in his first appointment, which I promise you was by design. But, you know, is a strong woman to serve in that. And by the way, in case you guys don't know, this is the daughter of the legendary NFL broadcaster, Pat Summerall. That's his daughter. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but pretty cool. Let me see. One more rock says, I feel like the biggest positive outcome is that many people that never voted before got involved, Amish college students, hunters, Christians. I agree with that. I think people are engaged and they're fired up. And I think we might actually get some change, you know. Who flew all the immigrants into middle America? Those who sent the 20,000 Haitians to Springfield should be held to account to fix the mess. I agree. I agree with that. And if you can prove that the deep state did that, now that, you know, but I think still in the end, they should be held accountable to it. But what is done with those immigrants in those states should be decided by the people of those states. Yeah. To be a tad crass, a woman should be elected or appointed based on her brains, not her breasts. Could not agree more. But girl, let me tell you something. This lady ran Trump's campaign and she did a fabulous job. I think she had lots of merit. Let's look at some of the other ones. Dr. Ben Carson is a lot of talk. And I'm a big fan of Dr. Ben Carson. He said 4 hours ago, well, at least when I was building this, so earlier than that, he said to the Americans of faith, you showed up in a big way this weekend and played a pivotal role in saving our country. For that, we cannot thank you enough. We have a long way to go and a lot of hard work ahead, but there is light. Together with God's grace, we can make America great again. He also was quoted in his career as saying, I'm the only candidate to take half of a brain, although you would think if you went to Washington that someone had beat me to it. He said, white liberals are the most racist people there are because they put blacks in a box and insist that they think one way. And if they don't, they attack them as illegitimate, all the while denying that their policies destroyed the blacks. Obamacare is the worst thing that happened in this nation since slavery, Dr. Ben Carson. For those of you guys who don't know, Ben Carson was the United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development underneath Trump. He's a neurosurgeon. He is 73 years old, I think, or 72 or 73 years old. But a lot is talked about him being part of the administration, and I hope that he is. Next, let's talk about Tom Homan. Now, this is a little bit of a homer pick a little bit because for those of you who know me that I know him and that he's a good man. In my book, he's just rough around the edges, you know. 60 Minutes asked him, is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families? To which he responded, of course there is. Families could be deported together.
Yes, I saw that.
Yep. Tom Homan, if you ever want to look up something funny, Google Tom Homan AOC. And what you'll see is an exchange between Homan and him. Homan is a tough dude. I've spent a lot of time with him. He's no nonsense, but you know what else he is? He's a barbecue eating, beer drinking redneck. He came up the hard way. His work worked his way up the chain to get where he is. I don't agree with all of his politics, but what I do know of Homan is he's a good man.
Where's he from?
We live in Washington now. I don't know where he's originally from. I want to say, I think Florida. I'm not sure, but I'm a big fan of Homan, and I think if you need a hard-nosed guy to push that, he'd be a great one to get it done. This one was funny, although I think this is more satire or more fun. I formally accept the offer to serve as President Trump's new press secretary, says Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the press secretary. Bobby Spags will tell you, who's in here tonight, it couldn't be anything funnier. I mean, you would have YouTubers would never have an end of content to post out there with stuff that was said. He would absolutely tear them up. I brought one quote in from him, and he said, a lot of people are waking up to human history, but so many people have been conditioned by the government-controlled media to think that it's a cool not to care. I would love to see this happen. This would make my whole day. Who else is he talking about? How about Mr. Musk, right? I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus, says Elon Musk. They should have left the kids alone. Isn't it amazing how the powers that be don't understand that you put the right spark, you wake a bunch of people up, right? The sex trafficking, the children, all of this is really what got Musk involved in it. Then it became free speech, which caused him to buy Twitter.
Yeah.
And without Twitter, Harris would have been the president today. I think it's hilarious that he is going to run the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. And you remember the bit, right? I think this is funny because the whole thing with Dogecoin, we made a bunch of money on Dogecoin, B. Back when Musk was talking about it, I just think that's super fascinating. If you guys remember when he bought Twitter, he said that he was going to cut 80% of Twitter's staff, and everyone was in an uproar. Twitter now is the fastest growing platform.
Did he do
it?
He
did it. He cut all 80.
And then he came back and built it back up?
No, he left it small. And that's who's running it today. And he's going to be in charge of government efficiency, which is amazing. He was also quoted as saying the World Economic Forum is increasingly becoming an unelected world government that the people never asked for and don't want. Pretty neat. Let me see here. Let's keep it trucking here. Tulsi Gabbard, I know you guys have seen her all over the campaign trail. She's a veteran. She's a commander. She's a major in the military. I don't know if she'll serve as, Secretary of Defense or some role, but here's a great example of a Democrat who supported Trump and ultimately went and said, I'm going to be a Republican now, but she's a Democrat. But the funny thing is, so is Trump. Do you know that or not?
I did not.
Trump was a registered Democrat for a long time. So was Ronald Reagan. Do you know that? It's funny how Elon Musk, Gabbard, Trump, all Democrats, Rogan, right, elected Donald Trump. Trump was elected by the hard work of a lot of Democrats and then all the people. I offer my heartfelt thanks and aloha to President Donald Trump for allowing me to play a small role in his victorious campaign to make America great again. It has been a great honor and privilege to get to know Donald Trump, a kind and courageous person who sincerely desires to make America great again. Despite all the obstacles, the voices of the American people have been heard loud and clear on election night. Now, protecting our freedoms requires vigilance. We must be ready to expose and condemn any efforts by the same forces that tried to undermine Trump's last term as they attempt to do it again, especially through the so-called Trump-proofing measures designed to limit his ability to govern and fulfill the mandate the American people have given him. Oh, that's right. Jamie says JFK was a Democrat too, right? Right. Isn't that ironic? Yep. You guys will love this one. Obviously, sources say Representative Thomas Massie is set to be tapped for the Secretary of Agriculture by President Trump. Massie has been pushing for food freedom and getting the governments off the backs of American farmers for years. He's the perfect pick and a key player in gutting the overregulation, choking out family farms. It was funny. I looked up, just said, hey, give me some tweets of Thomas Massie recently. And this was his just one day ago. He posted a chicken tractor is a mobile pen with no bottom that allows chickens to be raised on pasture without being eaten by predators. I invented an automated one that runs on sunlight and stores rainwater. It's powered by a solar panel and capacitors, so I call it the Klux capacitor. And if you guys are curious about anybody who don't know who Massie is, if you look up off grid with Thomas Massie, there's a whole documentary out there. He is a fellow off-gridder. He lives off-grid in Tennessee and very successful at it. Sorry, guys, I spilled. But look him up. I think this would be a great pick in this position. And I think this would absolutely give a big, what's the word I would use? Ally at the top for selling raw milk, right? And for living our way of life, because he lives our way of life. I had a good buddy of mine, Hitch, who said to me today, he said, he reminds me of a modern day Ben Franklin, which I thought was pretty neat. Massie is a regular guy. I really enjoy his videos. Yeah. Massie was at the Rude Folk conference I went to, and he was developing this self-mobile tractor then. Yep. I thought he lives in Kentucky. I thought it was Tennessee. Might be Kentucky. Neither, so I could be wrong. But, and then, you guys have probably read some of this. Joe Salatin, the farmer and regenerative agriculture advocate, has been offered a position within the USDA. He will advise Thomas Massey, who's agreed to be the Secretary of Agriculture. Here is his full message. He says, I think taxes we should pay would be able to be designated to certain departments. That way, we, the people, could support and defund departments directly. The reason we have the K Street is because all of our freedoms are for sale. Eliminate government manipulation and lobbyists to all go home. These are simple things. Let's do it. Legendary farmer and soon-to-be USD appointee Joe Salatin shares about the importance of local food production. This town in Belgium offers family a unique opportunity, he said. If anybody wants 3 chickens, we'll buy you 3 chickens, and you can go start your own farm. And so here's my third announcement of the day. I will host Joe Salatin on a live on November 15th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's a week from today. So at 2 o'clock before our normal live. So I'll have 2 of them that day. And what Joel and I are going to talk about is not regenerative farming, although we may get into a little bit of that. We're going to talk about change. We're going to talk about how we make change today. And if he was in charge, what would he do? I spoke to Joel a couple times this week. The details have not been worked out, so you guys know, about him being in the administration. There have been some talks, and until it gets worked out, we're probably not going to talk a lot about it. But what we are going to figure out is where Joel stands on a lot of things, and we'll get him here. And then I will also tell you on the 8th, 9th, and 10th of May, he will also be at the Midwest Preparedness Project. And by that time, he'll be working for the administration. And it ought to be a very interesting conversation. Pat Miletich, which we talked about earlier, and Joel, I sit on the Earth Council with. And we're going to try to get as many of them down as we can. Oh, my goodness. I thought I turned it off. We're going to get as many of them down as we can for the Midwest Preparedness Project. So make sure you guys get out and get there. It's going to be a lot of fun. But in the short term, join me on November the 15th at 2 p.m. and we'll talk to Joel and we'll see how all those things go.
Yeah. If you have any questions for him, you can send them ahead of time.
Yep. Yeah. If you have questions for Joel, certainly send them to me. Question is, will Trump actually put these good people at the top of these key cabinet positions or put swamp creatures at the head of positions to run all the advisors out? So I'm wondering I think this is the question. I think we're about to find out. If he really does put these people that I've already mentioned and the ones I'll mention after, if he puts them in positions, they're real warriors who have really gone out there and fought. And I will be much more supportive if that ends up being the case. It will be fun to, sit down and talk to Joel about this and sit down and talk about his role and talk a little about what he foresees the future and how we work together. And then obviously what we're going to do at the Midwest Preparedness Project, we're going to have him for 3 days. So that will be a lot of fun. So book your calendars now. Not only do we get Pat Miletich, UFC Hall of Fame, 5-time world champion and soil saver, we also get Joe Salatin here in these next couple weeks. And we get them both at the Midwest Preparedness Project. And I'll tell you something else. I have confirmed today that Jim Gale will be joining us from the Earth Council. So I know there'll be 4 of us at the Midwest Preparedness.
Oh, wow.
So there'll be at least 4 of the Earth Council members there. I'm working on all of them, but we'll see how well
How many are in total?
12. Yep. They actually refer to it as the Council of 12. But a study associated with the Belgium Chicken Project found that households' waste was decreased 40% because food scraps were fed to the chickens. Yeah. Oops, wait, hold on. Having some thick and chunky salsa. I don't get thick and chunky salsa. I get thick salsa.
Yeah, it was
or I get
runny.
Yeah.
It was delicious though.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, if I probably missed a bunch of comments, and I'm sorry about that, but it goes rolling right on by. The only thing that will make a change is if we cut GOC to a third. Yeah, but probably more than that, huh? Yeah, finish them, said Trump. Yeah, Pat, I don't know what you're laughing at me about, but I probably earned it. People who can speak coherently and with common sense in Washington, can the swamp handle it? No. They can absolutely not handle it. Okay, so there's the third bit of big news at 2 hours and 3 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to try to rush because we're getting late here. Vivek Ramaswamy, I've really liked him. I don't know if you guys know much about the guy, but he founded Rovient Sciences, which is a pharmaceutical company. He also founded Strive Asset Management, ran for president, got behind Trump. And he was quoted to say, diversity is not our strength. Our strength is what unites us across our diversity. And I love that. I absolutely love that. He is the son of Indian immigrants that came to this country. I have.
He was going around other universities, right?
With Charlie Kirk some, but he was also on stage with Trump a lot. I hope they find a place for him. And then obviously we cannot go through this without talking about RFK. Right. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes the aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cell raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, vitamins, clean food, sunshine, exercise, can't even pronounce that, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by big pharma. If you work for the FDA, this is RFK talking. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. One, preserve your records, and two, pack your bags. RFK tells MSNBC that he plans to clear out the entire department at the Food and Drug Administration. They're not protecting our kids. Why we have Fruit Loops in a country that has 18 or 19 ingredients when in Canada there's only 2 or 3. We are going to make America healthy again. RFK is no joke, and he's not just all talk. So this is some of the things that he's done in the past. Did you guys know that he sued General Electric to prevent them from dumping toxic PCBs into the Hudson River? He won hundreds of millions of dollars of plaintiffs suing Monsanto over glyphosate causing cancer. His lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies have led to increased awareness around the potential dangers of vaccines. He was instrumental in the Clean Air Act, reducing mercury, toxic pollutions in the air. He sued companies for polluting river water with coal as part of the Waterkeeper Alliance. He protected indigenous lands and communities. He sued the FCC to update wireless radiation guidelines, right? 5G. He risked his life to run for president despite the security risks. He sued the EPA to ban, I don't even know how to say that, chlorpyrifos, a very toxic pesticide. And he's bringing public awareness to the dangers of a 5G rollout. And he says hundreds of million Americans are now looking forward to clear blue skies, free of toxic metallic chemicals. We will stop the chemtrail crime. RFK Jr. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And you guys got to think about the sacrifices he made. First of all, he's a Kennedy. Kennedys have this long tradition of being Democrats, right? JFK, was assassinated. His dad was assassinated. And to break that chain would have taken a ton of courage. And, his family has to be very upset at him. Right. But he is absolutely in the fight. And this is probably the guy I'll have the most contact with through the Earth Council because there's connections there with Joel and with some of the other ones. But I'm looking forward to it. And if Trump does all of these things, I'll be a much big supporter. And to close this part out, we have no lasting friends, no lasting enemies, only lasting interests. Winston Churchill. Guys, all of these people are great, but if you fail, it was for nothing. If we fail doing our part right now, all of that's for nothing because they can't do it alone. We have to be willing to go step up. And man, what a great time. To my friends out there who are listening on this live, the time for hiding is over. If there was ever a time, it's right now. We're going to have some momentum. I'm not talking about, November 8th, 2024. I'm talking about we are turning this corner right here where you're not going to get a better opportunity to make a change than right now because we have allies in those other places. So I would really encourage you to do something about it. I promise you, I'm going to do something about it. And I'm going to continue to be in the fight. I hope you guys can join us next Friday for Joe Salatin and then obviously our live. I hope you guys can join us on the 23rd with Pat Miletich. And we can, talk to him a little bit and, many more. I hope you can join us at the Midwest Preparedness Project Festival in May. Is we'll have all of them down here on the 8th, 9th, and 10th, and there'll be some special events that go on for that as well. And I guess my parting words to you guys tonight is go be the difference. Don't let them down. Don't be the one that sits and says, hey, I didn't do anything. Everyone else will do it. When there's many people there out sacrificing, be the one that sacrifices too. And if we sacrifice together, we might be able to make a change. But it's going to take every one of us. And are you going to be the one that lets the rest of us down? I promise you, you have my word. I will not be. What do you got?
Sounds good.
Eat some saffron. Go mow the fields. Blow up some solar generators. We love you guys. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Be out.
Tag out.